So, turns out we've discovered that we are, in fact, on a planet's surface, and that thunderstorm outside is, in fact, real.
Can you go back to the title screen for me? That is where we're at.
Oh, shit! You're totally right. There's thunder here. It's certainly more grounded theory now.
We think so, at least.
Sometimes you just gotta look at the title screen, you know?
Well, anyway, alright.
Check this shit out.
Tia, a survivor.
Someone alive?
We didn't even say we were back.
Not exactly. He's in stasis.
It could be dangerous to wake someone from stasis without the proper
It's the name of the game. Oh my
So
god.
who the hell woke me?
Get him, John. We need to think about the mission.
Yep, that's right, guys. We're gonna get this fucker out of here. So I came prepared for this, actually.
I feel like he's gonna kill you.
So we have to go around looking at each of these and basically write down how many doses and what chemical we need to inject into him.
That's pretty fun.
And there are clues scattered all around this area because there are three obvious ones, and it's on these stasis pods. Get out of there. But there are other ones hidden on little data pads, which took me quite a while to figure out too. Look at this guy.
Another body. Or two.
So instead, when I was playing this, I took pictures of all of these clues, so I don't have to go and find them all again. And it's nice to have a reference point. What did I pick up? So that little chip is for Bango. So this is basically how we're going to control this guy getting out. So here we go.
I love that sound for the computer turning on. That was lovely.
It is pretty fantastic. 2, 3, 4 doses of that. We're gonna do I don't remember. H3CN.
You should have seen the first PDT that we ran across, the noises it made.
Yeah. Better or worse? Because I was thinking that this game was going to use like too much of generic sci-fi sound effects for like this sort of thing, but here the sound effects sound almost watery in nature, and I love it.
It makes it feel a lot like dirtier, like grungier, if you will.
Grungy, broken down. No, the first one was was not. It was like a computer with a keyboard that looked like it shouldn't be able to function. It was very 80s style looking with like wires sticking out of it all over the place, and it was very 80s sounding.
Okay.
It had its own theme.
It's lovely. I guess they used appropriate sound design for that part then. That's nice.
Man, where is this?
I thought you came prepared.
It's, it doesn't tell you, not all of these little displays tell you what part of the body it's supposed to be injected into. So some of it becomes a guessing game. Okay, so double O. So it's interesting because the last game that Cujo and I played, which we haven't released yet, it was a game called Don't Escape. And the third game in the series is you're in a space station, and one of the challenges is you have to mix some chemical components to create things to, overcome challenges. And its mixture process is very similar to this, where you have to go around and you have to find clues in the environment and kind of put them together in a thing like this and make it work, which I don't know. I think it's interesting because it's something that you don't see often in a lot of games, but at the same time, it can feel very tedious, and it's definitely the kind of, I need this one. It's definitely the kind of thing where you kind of want to take notes. Like, I took pictures of it because it makes it that much easier to figure out and remember, but if you rely on memory, it can be... there's a lot of room for error, basically.
Yeah, that's fair. And then you mess one thing up, and then you're not sure which one it was that you messed up. And
It is a puzzle game, so...
Right now, Nick and my wife Rachel have been playing a lot of
This War of Mine?
This War of Mine, and they keep a notebook. Like it's the first game I've ever seen them just like even Civ. They pick up a notebook and write everything down. Which is kind of fun.
That's super fun. It's not often that you actually find games where that's encouraged. Mm-hmm. And I have no idea how that game does it. But obviously they've figured out that that's the best way to play that game. And the fact that it enhances the gameplay rather than takes away anything is actually pretty awesome. Okay, so that's done. That's good. This is good. That's good. That leaves these two. You know, you guys can talk about things while I figure this out.
No, because we're just going to fast forward through this.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Bam! Did it. Done. That's close. It's so easy to get mixed up in those because a lot of those chemical components look the same.
Mm-hmm. Steady yourself. You'll be okay.
Screaming!
Woke him up. The survivor. He didn't make it. I think I killed him. I think I did something.
I told you to leave him. He was dead the minute we froze him. Just make his death easier, simpler.
I just killed a man, Tia.
You need to move before you become another dead body.
Have some mercy.
Mercy? You have no idea how much mercy I have. I've been in hell. Made choices that got people killed. This isn't just like you anymore. I'm sorry. I need you, John.
So I really like that moment because prior to us waking up that dude, which, by the way, this is totally why we woke him up, is just to get the cryo stuff. But prior to that, she was the one saying, no, don't do it. He's going to die. It's not worth it. And then we do it anyway, and suddenly we realize we really shouldn't have done it. But she's saying, no, it's okay. You made it better for him. Which, that is such a good example of making a compassionate character. Because she made her opinions very, very clear, but yet she's still willing to change to help you through it.
That is a really good way to humanize her. Like, really bring her onto a personal, understandable level.
I think that's something that this game does actually really, really well in its writing, is that it makes sure that the characters in this game are very human. And while it might seem like too much sometimes, because John, every time we encounter anything particularly horrible, he always stops and he goes, oh God, oh no, why is this, this is horrible. And he does it a lot. But
yeah, but at the same time, most of this stuff is happening in a matter of like 3 hours.
Exactly. It's not like he's suddenly going to become hardened to the scenario he's in.
Yeah. What I like is that he's upset that he killed a man, and I don't think he stepped anywhere where there hasn't been blood.
Yeah, and let alone that guy was already basically done for.
Mm-hmm.
And actually waking him up was probably the only chance he really had.
It's true.
And really nice voice acting in the line, I just killed a man, quite good.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yes.
Well done.
All around spot on scene, man.
Spot on.
It's
Good show.
Lovely. Alright.
Get off.
Get out of here. I just killed a man. Yeah, get this garbage out of here.
Sorry. Okay. Just...
Oh well.
This scene is, this is interesting.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. It's not like the power's gonna cut out in the middle of surgery.
Shit, John. Why don't you even say that?
I'm about to cut into my spinal cord. I'm allowed one joke.
I'll be monitoring.
Can't argue with that.
You can do this.
So you remember why we're doing this, right?
To get rid of the PDT that's in our body.
The personal data tag, yeah. It's purely so we can take the elevator down. And if I don't remember if they've specified this yet, but your daughter is down there. Like, she's in the medical...
It said she was 4 floors down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's in the medical ward, which we're in now. We just need to go down those 4 floors to get her. So we're close. We're very close to her. And John's willing to go through this just to save his daughter.
God, I didn't know that part. Now I'm scared that any screams we hear are from her.
I know, right?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, those screams, they get more interesting, too, as we go through, because I think it's actually been mentioned in some of the PDAs so far, but a lot of what's been going on here has been experiments on children.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Yeah.
It was mentioned at one point that there was a clone child thing that was, it merged with other bodies and it ended up having, like, 4 left and right arms. And, yeah. So this part of the game I find is particularly frustrating because I have to hit these buttons, but I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, presumably I hit the red buttons, right? But I don't actually know if that's correct.
Huh.
Error. Although that's interesting because I think the computer errors out no matter what. But he kind of freaks out like that to make the player think that they're doing something wrong. And it took me a while to notice, but we have a display on our left. And when I first went through this, I did not see it there, and I ended up killing John.
Is that the order at which you have to hit
It
them?
is. And the screen also flickers out, so if you don't memorize it, you could get stuck to the point where John gets killed. It's a very, very intense scene. It's reminiscent of Dead Space 2, where you have to, like, stick a needle in the main character's eye and extract data from his brain, which is super weird. Honestly, in Dead Space, that kind of frustrated me because I thought it was out of place. This is awesome because it's the same kind of stressful situation where you're like, oh God, I'm performing surgery on myself. This crazy stuff is happening. If I do one thing wrong, I'm going to die. Mm-hmm. But it actually makes sense why you're doing it. Mm-hmm. There's the perfect scenario for putting the player through that experience. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, when the lights come back on, a little monster.
Yeah, he walked up in the very first screen flash. He's just eating the dead body.
Yup. I really like this scene because the player can't do anything. So obviously the player's going to take the stance of, well, obviously it's not going to kill me because it's a cutscene and I can't do anything. Mm-hmm. But what's going to be waiting for me when I finally wake up? Mm-hmm. That's why I like it.
They did a lovely job on the sound cues during the surgery scene because they made them sound all very nice and hectic.
Oh, yes.
Like, as far as timing goes.
So, actually going back to the surgery scene too, the thing I was complaining about it not being very well explained what to do is actually also a good thing in that setting, or in that scenario, because like you said, the sound makes it chaotic. That challenge is supposed to be chaotic, and you're not supposed to know what's going on, because that's what makes it stressful. And I think there's a certain point at which it should have explained at least a little bit more, but the lack of details is what made that challenge interesting. And obviously, when I played through this the first time, I only died once, and then I figured it out the second time, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like them not telling you exactly how to do it really it kind of gives stress to the real situation of you don't know what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
Like, he says he's a doctor, right? Or no, he's a teacher, so he really has no idea what he's doing.
He's relying on this automated surgery thing that still requires input from him. But anyway, so that's it for this episode. We went a little long just because of the lack of stuff going on at the beginning of the episode. But, yeah, we will see you in the archives.
Boom.
Later.
Boom. Woo. So Cujo will occasionally contact me, usually at work, and be like, hey, what are you doing tonight? This conversation goes something like this. Hey, I respond with a question mark. He says, your face. I responded, ... ellipses. And he's like, yeah, eat it. Feel that burn? I responded with an exclamation mark, but I put the exclamation mark in quotes. And then he fed off this and said, shit, oh shit, Snake, they saw you. And I responded with the and sign and a question mark. And he said, oh shit, get out of there, Snake. 3 exclamation marks. Snake, 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 get up, get your bitch ass up. You ain't done, ...